Republican State Representative Mitch Little of Lewisville, thank you so much, and welcome back to Eye on Politics.
Glad to be with you again.
So let's talk about the Democrats in the House, the quorum break. What is your reaction to this fact that we'll see what happens at 3 o'clock, but this will keep the debate from starting on House Bill 4, the newly drawn congressional maps that would give Republicans likely 5 more districts?
Well, as a Republican, Jack, I think this is manna from heaven. When I ran for office, I ran to reform the Texas House, and this puts us a gigantic step closer to an 88-62 speakership in the House, where Republicans are united together on policy grounds and then ideological grounds too. I think this is a significant moment for the House Republican caucus. It's an opportunity for us to draw together. And you mentioned the quorum preventing debate. There wasn't going to be any meaningful debate. There was going to be a lot of posturing and a lot of noise being made, but Republicans are absolutely still planning to pass these redistricting maps despite all the screeching and histrionics.
Well, the Democrats say they left the state because they say this is a power grab by President Trump and by Texas Republicans, Governor Abbott, and say that this is stripping away minority representation. Your reaction?
Yeah, that's a ludicrous narrative. We find it fascinating as Republicans in Texas that our Democrat colleagues decided to flee to states like Illinois and New York, which their congressional representation as Democrats far outstrips their electoral performance as Democrats in those states. So it is well within the power of Republicans in the state of Texas to redistrict and redraw these lines and add seats to the Republican contingent, and we intend to do so. The only ones talking about race are Democrats. We're talking about political performance, which is absolutely a legal metric on which to base a redistricting move.
And so let me ask you, because I remember the debate after the census, and in 2021, Republicans said that they did not draw those maps on race at all, and that it was kind of the similar thing. This was more partisan in nature. You're saying this is the same thing now, yet these Democratic districts in Houston and Dallas, Austin, South Texas are going to be more Republican. They're going to have more Republicans in them. And so I'm wondering, when you call it political performance, you're really just talking about moving Republicans around from district to district, right?
No, this is what the law permits us to do. It's very clear based on federal jurisprudence. We have the ability to redraw lines based on partisan performance, which is exactly what we're doing, and we intend to provide those here. Again, the only people making or raising concerns about race and racial profiling are the Democrats. This has not been a point of discussion among Republicans and will not be.
And so Governor Abbott sent a letter to Texas House Democrats last night. We're speaking on Monday. And he basically said 2 things in that letter to them. One, they may be committing felonies if in fact they are raising money to cover the cost of the $500 a day fines. And the other thing he said is that he may seek to remove them from office, which was the subject of an attorney general opinion back in 2021. Does that really have teeth? I know it's subject of an opinion, but it's non-binding. What if you're looking at Democrats in, let's say, heavily Democratic county like Dallas or Travis County, Bexar County, Harris County, what judge is going to agree? What Democratic judges, which there mostly are going to agree to what the governor is trying to do?
Interesting. Let's break those into two separate topics. So, dealing with the question of bribery, when I became a legislator in the Texas House, we had orientation. Day one, meeting one, was covering public corruption and what constitutes bribery. When you violate a duty as a legislator and someone has paid you or offered you something in exchange for doing so, which very clearly we have here, we've got Democrats on the record admitting that people are paying for them to fly and stay in other cities and other states. That is by the letter of the law bribery. So you say, well, in Dallas County or Harris County or Travis County, how are they going to get prosecuted? Well, I think this is an emotional decision on the part of the Democrats, not a rational one, because they have Democrat representatives who are in Tarrant County and Collin County as well. So I guess we'll just let the grand jury sort all those issues out. From my perspective, on the quo warranto proceeding, actual removal under Chapter 66 of Civil Practice and Remedies Code, the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, who has been facing down the Democrats for his entire tenure, he is the sole person in the state of Texas who has the authority and jurisdiction to bring those proceedings. It is my hope that they are hitting copy paste over at the Attorney General's office right now, preparing those petitions.
So the Attorney General is the one who would be prosecuting these.
Yes, sir.
And have you had conversations with his office about this?
Haven't had the pleasure yet, but I'm sure they're going on right as we speak. We've got a few hours left until this supposed quorum break.
And is this a test? I've seen comments on social media. Is this a test for Speaker Burrows? Because he had said that all options are on the table. And so what is it that you would like to see happen after 3 o'clock if the Democrats make very clear that they're not showing up in Austin?
Well, as as I was trying to kind of observe earlier, a lot of things that happen in the legislature are emotionally driven. You kind of saw the pressure build from the Democrat Party for people to break quorum and leave the state. Here's the reality, the ground truth of what the Democrats are up against is when Speaker Burrows today puts a call on the House and enables the sergeant at arms and DPS to go and retrieve these people wherever they are, the options are going to come off the table and they're going to get into the fight. The Democrats are now on the battlefield. And if they just simply change their minds about this emotional decision that they've made and come back to Austin to do the business they were elected to do, we don't have to worry about all those things, do we?
And so are you expecting the speaker to put a call on the House? But even that, if he does that, it's only if they're in Texas does he have the authority for DPS to bring them back. If he's out of state, if they're out of state, there is no such authority, right?
I think DPS and the sergeant at arms have more tools at their disposal than the Democrats believe they do. And yes, I expect before the clock strikes midnight for us to have a call in the House.
Okay, so not necessarily like 3:05 today.
It might be. We'll see how fast it goes.
And I know some Texas Republicans in the House and in the Senate are filing legislation to prevent this, to codify it, basically saying if lawmakers have excessive absences on consecutive days, then they could be removed from the House. That would certainly make it much easier to prosecute, correct?
I saw Representative Kane and Senator Middleton filing those bills this morning or this afternoon. All I'll say about that is you got to have a quorum to pass a bill. And so at some point, when the Democrats come back, I expect they'll have to deal with those bills because you can run, but you can't hide.
And is that something you think Republicans will pass?
I'd sure like to see it happen. I think we will have the votes to pass it after the second quorum break in as many as 4 years. This is at this point becoming business as usual for Democrats. That when they don't like the use of political power being used against them, they just up and leave. Republicans have seen government weaponized against them, against President Trump, against charities and moms going to school boards for the last decade. And so now that the tables have turned, the Democrats have decided to run, I expect them to be back to work immediately.
And I did want to ask you, as far as, because this is a second redistricting within a 10-year period, is this something where do you see this as, maybe in 2 years it happens again? I mean, do you see this happening more frequently going forward?
It's a good question. I think not only are the national Republicans going to have to weigh in on that topic, we've got to figure out what our electoral performance as a party is you know in all parts of the state. And let me just put it this way: the Democrats would never take that option off the table, and Republicans shouldn't either.
And my last question to you, taking a step away from this, I know you have said publicly that you are considering a run for Texas Attorney General now that the Attorney General Ken Paxton is running in the GOP primary for U.S. Senate. Where do things stand with you right now? What factors are you considering?
Yeah, to steal a line from Speaker Burrows, all options are on the table. But the thing I can assure you, Jack, is that the safety and security of Texas and Texans are foremost on my mind, as well as taking care of my family and making sure that um, my kids can grow up and achieve all their dreams and do the things that they want to do.
Republican State Representative Mitch Little of Lewisville, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.